Welcome to Duke's United show, and it is the match review for the England versus USA game. I know it's early today, it's very early. I'm currently in a hotel, and I thought, you know what, before I start my day, let me give my review on what England have done yesterday. Yeah, where do I start? Where do I start with England? You know, I actually delayed my journey to this hotel last night so I could definitely get to watch this match. And disappoint me. It really did disappoint me once again. I've had this for years with England, to be fair. I do enjoy them winning. I do want them to win. But so many games that we do play, I get bored. I do get bored. And this was definitely one of them. I was bored as hell. This game, I was like, bloody hell, man. How the hell can we have a team with this many players on the pitch? And I'm bored. I didn't get it. But anyway, let's talk about some of the talking points of the game before we go into the match rating. So, number one, I think, the fact that we didn't lose is a plus because, when we play against teams like this that have a little bit of danger about them, England are susceptible to getting a loss, and then everyone's upset because you should not lose to a team like this. Man for man, like I say, if you look at every player here, if you look at every player man for man, overall, our team is way better than USA, and we should be winning these kind of games. They drew with Wales. Wales lost to Iran. We beat Iran. I know it doesn't always work like that, but the reality is it should. It should. So I know there's been mad results in the tournament so far, but that doesn't take away the fact that a better team should beat the worse team, and they are quite dangerous. They do have a bit about them. USA are not a pushover, that's for sure. But with the players we have, with the quality we have, we never seem to play according to the quality that we have. Like the output that should come out from those players just didn't happen. But look, the positives from it is we didn't lose. We're still top of the table and we're going to go through. The chances are very high that we're going to go through. I expect us to beat Wales. But again, in this kind of game, I would have loved to have seen us go for it a bit more. But again, that's the problem. And I think that's what Southgate knows. If you go for it a bit more, you stand a chance of getting beat against teams that you should beat. So it's a mad one, isn't it? You've got to be bold. You've got to be bold in this game. You've got to go for what you need to go for. But again, it's tournament football, so you can't really do much about that. So yeah, the fact they didn't lose, I'm quite happy with that. Second point, England did not control the game against the USA side. Now, we have Rice in there, who everyone talks as, world class. I don't see him as world class, but I think he's a very good defensive midfielder that does usually control games. Gets on the ball, never under pressure. I mean, okay under pressure, great under pressure, passes the ball, keeps it. And I just felt like USA had the better of the game. How USA are just controlling the game for the most part, it really just beats me because I'm looking on the pitch. Again, you look at the players, you look at our positioning, and you just think, when we get on the ball, why can't we play through the lines? It's like it kept breaking down. The minute we start playing through the lines, it just breaks down and we lose the ball. And these are international players playing for England. So again, not happy. I'm not happy that we didn't control the game against the USA because we're going to come up against better teams. These are the games where we should be easily controlling games, even for the most part. Even if you don't play too well, don't create much, just control the game. Like, be the team that looks the better team, that maybe didn't get goals, like USA did to us. They looked the better team. Overall, they hit the bar. Pulisic hits the bar. You have Dest looking good. You have even the player from where is he at? Nottingham Forest, is it? I can't remember even what team he's at. But the midfielder, he was very good. He was stopping lots of things from happening. I remember he got back with Sterling and tackled him. And he's like, "Yeah, come on, boys." I was like, "No." Okay. Well, anyway, didn't control the game well enough. I think we should have controlled that game. Like we should do against Wales. We cannot play Wales and they did control the game. It just cannot happen. Wales are not good. We know they're not good. Okay, it's Wales. You can call it a derby. You can call it whatever. A game where, you know, it's a big match for England and Wales because it's Great Britain. But look, reality is we're miles ahead of them in quality, and we've got to prove it for once. We've got to prove it. Let's do it. And that's why, you know, in a game like Iran, I'm there thinking it might be 2-2, because I just don't know what to expect from an England side. And every time I get confident, now because we got 6-2, we got what we're supposed to do, and then we come into a game like this where you expect to win maybe 1-0, 2-0 and control the game, or even 2-1 and control the game, it's 0-0 and we're not controlling the game. So anyway, that's that about controlling the game. And then thirdly, boring England. I was bored. I don't like watching matches and coming away not happy. I feel like I've wasted time of my life, which I could have been doing something else. I love football, but when it's played like that, it's just boring, man. It is boring. I don't know about you guys, but I am bored when I watched. Yesterday, I was bored. And a lot of the time, I do get bored watching England, I must say. And I don't think it's just England's fault, because, to be honest, I now get bored. I used to, when, you know, let's say 15, 20 years ago, and that's a long time, but in the 2000s, I could watch multiple teams, like not just internationally, but like club teams. I could watch so many teams because there was so much fun, so much things happening in the game, and I used to enjoy it. But even with the England games, I used to love it when, if Rooney was playing, I'd be like, yeah, I'm watching this game. If Rooney wasn't playing and he's changing up the side and stuff, I'd be like, I'll miss that game. I won't watch. Because I know, like, England without a Rooney is like boring. You know, like, remember, like, back in the day, Man United without a Cantona was a little bit boring. But anyway, well, United without a Cristiano, let's say, to make it a bit more. But yeah, we just need to be. We've got players in this side. We do have players in this side on the bench. Like, why didn't we bring on a Trent yesterday when Trippier is not playing well? You know, he didn't really do much. He wasn't really that good. Didn't really get forward. We needed a bit more in attack. That's a game, really. Maybe you should bring on a Trent in that kind of game. You know, I'm not even going to mention the other one because he's one of my points. I'm not even going to mention the one thing because it's a major point that I'm going to make about England. But yeah, it was boring, man. It was boring. I don't want to see that again. It is tournament football, so sometimes you do get them kind of games. But again, we've got to play to our potential, or somewhere near it at least. We were a bit too far off it yesterday. I think not good enough. And again, this leads me on to the fourth point. We didn't go for it. And in a game where everyone's expecting who to come on, I'm not even going to mention it. Like I said, we're expecting our best players to come on. And it was a surprise. Henderson coming on in the midfield. But I guess it was to shore up that midfield, to be able to have a bit more control in there. I do understand that. Yes, Raj is on. Good to see him. But yeah, so we didn't really go for it as I expected us to go for it. Yeah, we just didn't really do a lot. Again, it wasn't a massive point to make, but this point here is the major point. Yeah, this is a major point. No Foden. Let me tell you, I can't think of a country that doesn't play their most talented player and doesn't bring him off the bench either. It's not like he's injured and he's not playing. He needs to have, only 45 minutes or half an hour because he's not playing well. He's actually not played at all. So Raj says Maddison needs to start and Foden next game. England will win the World Cup, Prince Ahmed Zah says. Harry Maguire was our best player yesterday. Harry Maguire, yeah, he probably was. And that's not a good look for England. For your defender to be your best player, I think it's not good enough. Against the USA side, it's not good enough. I want our striker, our winger, someone who's doing something in attack to be able to do something. Prince Ahmed Zah says Maguire star man. Yeah, he was. Pretty much. But look, Foden, mate, there's no other country, no other club that doesn't play their star man. You have to play your star man. Why is Mason Mount starting ahead of Foden? I just want to know, like, what's wrong with you? Come on, Southgate. The one glaring problem you have is you don't play your best player. Put him in the side, number one, first man on the sheet. There you go. Foden is our best player with the most quality. I consider this guy world class already. Couple years in the game, the guy is world class. You can see it. You can feel it. The guy plays for City all the time. He's taken over Silva's spot when he left and really straight into there, filled the boot straight. How many players can say that they can do that? And England are sitting there with no Foden. Anyway, I can continue with this guy. He needs there. He needs to be there. Pulisic was class for USA. He caused us problems. He did. And that's why Trippier got, he got roasted. Not roasted, but, he allowed the shot in because Pulisic is a good player. He pushed it to the side and hit the bar. And he's done a little bit more as well. He was involved in a lot of USA's good play. So, yeah, it was some good stuff. But let's get into the player ratings because it wasn't great. But let's do it, guys. Let's do it. So we're going to go with, obviously, we'll start with the goalkeeper and let's see what's happening here. So for me, I think Pickford went in goal again. Like I said, I always pretty much like Pickford. Let me come to the side here. Yeah, I like Pickford. He done okay. I don't think he done anything wrong. Before I go into that, Raj says, we need to do better. Southgate tactics are always questionable on the next game. On to the next game. Yeah, we're top of the league. Hopefully, we'll get through. That's for sure. And then it's just how does he navigate when we got better teams coming up against us? We're going to play good teams in the next rounds. So, yeah, exactly Pickford 7. Exactly what I gave him. So you guys are on the same page as me at the minute. I'll just put him up there. Pickford got a 7. I gave him a 7. He deserved it. Again, he doesn't do anything wrong. He done everything he needs to do. He's always on point in terms of what he can do, and he does it. I like that about every player, that they do what their ability says they're about. Whatever he says he's about, he does it. He always produces what he is. That's Pickford for you. So Pickford, I'm having you, mate. You did all right. Prince Ahmed Azar said 6. I don't think he made a mistake, so I'm not going to give him less than that. I don't think it's fair to give him any less than that. I feel Luke Shaw coming at left back, and you know what? I think he did all right as well. I think he did all right. He's continuing to be consistent. He done what he needed to do, and he also nearly set up a goal as well. He overlapped. He done what he needs to do. He defended well. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 7 as well. I think he deserves a 7. I can't see why not. He didn't play bad. Didn't do anything particularly wrong. I think he did well. And Raj says 7 as well. So again, we're on the same page. We are on the same page. Let's move on to the big man, Maguire. So Maguire, yep, sure. Prince Ahmed says 7 as well. So for me, I'm giving Maguire also a 7, but he got man of the match 7. So he's like a high 7. I'm not giving him an 8. I don't think anyone deserves an 8 in this game. Nobody deserves an 8. 8 is a big score to get. I think he did well. He did what he's supposed to do. There's one time where he defended like a flipping madman, cowboy defending, but it didn't count this game. He did the wrong move. He vacated his space in defense. I remember Gary Neville even mentioning it at halftime. Said you can't defend like that. But the good thing is in this game, it didn't count. They didn't take advantage of it. So you can't give him a less score for that. But that's what happened in the game before against Iran. He did all things normally, what he's supposed to do. He played well. And then all of a sudden, he just switches off, vacates his space and lets the striker in and scores. That's the thing that I just don't want to see happen, because if we can play like that for most of the game and then switch off when you really need him the most, they're the sides of it where, you need to really make sure you're on it. And that's where I just feel like he's always going to be a problem at that point. But he did well yesterday. He's a man of match in a team that played pretty badly. So, yeah, we've got here, what's everyone saying about him? Maguire, 8. Prince Zaha, 8 or 7.5. Then, look, you can give him an 8 if you want. I don't think we was under the cosh that much that he did that well. I don't think he did anything which he's not supposed to do. A ball comes to his head and he's standing there, heads it out. That's not great football. It's just doing what you're supposed to do. You expect every defender, if the ball comes to your head, head it out. You know, and just he done what he's supposed to do. When he was called, the one time when he come up against Dest, and I think it was Dest or someone anyway, and he got a 1-on-1 and he stopped it. That's what you call where you're called upon to have to do something. And he came out on top in that part. So yes, I was very happy with that side, and he blocked it. I think he blocked it in the end. I thought he might get toasted. He didn't. And that's the times where you say, yeah, that was good defending. You know what I mean? So other side of things, that's just standard defending, isn't it? Like the ball comes, kick it out. The ball comes to your head, head it out. That's standard. But that 1-on-1, not standard. That's where you did your job there, Maguire. I love that. So yeah, you got a 7. I think he was man of the match. We move on to John Stones. I think John Stones was he was average, didn't really do much. I think he gets 1 less than Harry Maguire. I think he's a 6. Again, he does what he's supposed to do for the most part, but I think whenever if you can get at him, he is a little. It's weird, isn't it? It's like one of them players you think that you can do something, but you don't often get the chance to do something. So he's one of them players. I just gave him a 6. I think he deserves a 6. Southgate gets more out of him than Ten Hag. You know what? We have to realise, yeah, when England play, they don't often play a good side. They're playing bad teams most of the times. So you should win. You should defend properly. So for the most part, let's think about England's last 20 games. How many of them were top teams? Top teams. So that's where you can say, of course, England should be defending well. So I don't think he gets more out of him. I think he's not called upon to have to do as much in these kind of games. That's what I think. So then you're never going to play really bad until you do play that big game. And then you could maybe have a good game. So now you've played all them games where you should do well, and then you have one good game against a team that is good, then you're okay. And that's why playing for England, people are saying, he plays well for England. No, we know his ability. Let's take it back to the ability. We know his ability, what he can and can't do. And he just has to be able to be put in positions to do what he can do well, often, and not be put in positions where he struggles. And in the Premiership, it's a different kettle of fish. There's players with pace everywhere, and you're gonna be in vulnerable positions, and he can't handle that, and that's the difference. So look, he'll do well for England. I don't think he won't do well for England. He'll do well for the most part, but there'll still come these points where it's glaring mistakes. You know, like for example, Trippier crap yesterday. He was rubbish, but it wasn't a glaring mistake. It was Pulisic was better than him. He opened it out, hits a shot, and it goes. You don't go, oh, Trippier, what you doing there, mate? What you doing not moving? No, he tried to defend it, but Pulisic was better. So anyway, and let's carry on from there. So we've got Stone 6. Everyone agrees with that. And then I'm moving on to Mr. Trippier, Mr. Trips. Not the best of games yesterday. Passing the ball off the pitch as well. Not so, it's not so. It wasn't so comfortable on the ball for some reason. It wasn't keeping the ball. And when you have them kind of games, you don't just stick with him. You know what I mean? I wouldn't just stick with him the whole time. And give someone else a game. That's what the whole squad's there for. We're playing against USA. We just won the last game. USA drew. So we know that the state of the game. We know that we can afford to go and do something. Get Trent on this game. We need some more going forward. We need that crosses in the box. Let's get Trent on. Let's let him have some. So, I don't know. United guy says some really rubbish teams in the Prem. Yeah, but they got some good attackers, aren't they? So that's the madness. Every team are dangerous going forward. They got dangerous men going forward. But yeah, I think with Trippier, I'm going to give him a 5. I think he deserves a 5 today. He didn't do well. He didn't do well enough. And he should have been one of the players who come off. I don't want to see throughout this tournament players that he chose to play when they don't play well, just staying in the game. Like Mount, he's been quiet 2 games on the trot. If he plays again next game, it's just not fair. You cannot play Mount again next game. You just can't. You got to throw in Foden now. Foden's got to get his chance to play. Please do not go through this tournament and Foden plays 1 game. Or, Imagine Mount plays all these games. We get through. He's never going to go to Foden then, is he? Because he's going to be like, oh, this is what got me through. So I'm going to stick with that. And then we're going to be fools again, going without our best player against the best teams and then bringing them on for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. And we lose the game. Let's say we play France and Foden's on the bench. We're going to be peed right off. I'm going to be peed right off. Trippier 5. Yes, guys, you're agreeing with me. You're agreeing. Exactly the same. I'm moving on to the next man, Mr. Rice. Not as good as usual. Not as comfortable as usual on the ball. Didn't really look assured of himself yesterday compared to the other games, which I never really have to look at him and think, where are you at Rice? But yeah, he didn't have the best of games. I'm giving him a 6. I think he wasn't the best. Yeah. United guy says Mount was dire. Excuse the pun. yeah, he was. He's not the best. He's not been playing the best. You know, he somehow, packs the stats for Chelsea. And then, but when you watch him, it's not great on the eye for me. I never see anything where I go, yeah, you know what? He's sick. He does this. He does that. It's like he just goes about no frills midfielder and just does what he needs to do and stacks up stats somehow. So yeah, he says Rice is a 6. Prince Ahmed says, yeah, Rice is a 5. Sorry, I gave him a 6. Maybe I'm a bit generous there. Maybe he should have got a 5 because of how bad we played. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I would bring that down. Bellingham, yeah, to be fair, if Bellingham gets, I think Bellingham tried his best. He done okay. He linked up some good play, put a great ball into the box as well when he got down the wide. And that's the thing, from a midfield position, number 8, to be able to get on the width, get down the sides and cross a ball in like that, that's amazing stuff, man. Like, you're not going to see a Calvin Phillips get down the wing like that and cross a ball in with that amount of quality. No one got on the end of it, but look, he did really well. He put in a Saka for that overlap when Saka crossed it in for Harry Kane and then it got blocked early on in the first half. I think he done okay, man. I think he done okay, but the rest of the team needs to do better, you know? Prince Ahmed said 7. I'm going to go, I went with a 6 just because I think he played okay, but didn't play as well as, like, let's say, you know what? He did actually play all right. He did, Ahmed. You're right. But I'm going to give him a 6 anyway. I'm going to stick with what I said. He may have been just the same as the better players as well. The Maguire, the Shaw, the Pickford. They all got 7s. So maybe Bellingham did it. But again, we were boring. We weren't good enough. And it wasn't through his fault that we weren't good enough. I think, obviously, with the way we play will determine whether he does well. And he did what he's supposed to do, but the rest of the team didn't. So maybe he does deserve a 7. I'll give him a high 6. High 6. Moving on to Mount now. Mason Mount, I can't for the life of me work out why everybody loves you so much. I know you're a good player. We know that. Everyone knows you're a good player. But when you've got better players in the ranks, I can't understand it. I can't understand how Foden doesn't get ahead. But I know in football, managers, what they're like. They have favourites. They do have favourites that they think, you know what, I'm going to always pick this player. And I feel like Mount is one of them players who are always going to get picked. United guy says loves Bellingham, and Mount got a 4. Wow, I gave him a little bit better than a 4. I can understand why. I think he did not well enough. Simple as that. He had a shot, which again, keeper's easily going to save. It was a power shot, but it's not in the corner. Not in the corner. And that's all I can remember him doing, having a shot. So, to be fair, he gets a 5. Wow, Prince Ahmed says 4 as well. So, you guys have ripped him even more than I ripped him. I thought I was bad. But yeah, I think he wasn't the best. He needed to do better. And again, he needs to come off the pitch. You know what? Get even, you know what Raj said earlier. Why we got to give other players a chance. They don't just come in the squad and not play. Like, get what's his name on the field. Even if we had Maddison in there in that game, you know, and then put Foden on the right or left or something when the other players are quiet. Like, give them some minutes. Mate, we need to give players minutes, man. I hope we do see the likes of the other players in the squad getting their chances even if it's for a little bit of time. See what they can do. That's what they've been brought for. Do not just stick with the first 11, and when they don't play well, just stick with it. It's not good enough. But anyway, let's move on. Mr. Sterling, not the best of games, very quiet, not much going on. It was just one of them games where he just couldn't really get into it. He looked a bit sharp at times, but then lost the ball. I remember he turned very quickly and pushed it. I was like, I love that. But it ended up coming off with nothing. So, yeah, it just wasn't enough. I underestimated USA. Yep. And Prince Ahmed says 5. You know what, guys? You guys are on my wavelength. You guys are on my wavelength because I gave him exactly that. He got a 5. He deserved the 5. Didn't really do much at all. That's what I mean. When the front three are not really hitting it off, change it. That's what we've got. Abundance of talent in these positions. So get on Rashford quicker. Get on a Foden. Get on anybody. Like, I can't even think of the wingers no more. But I'm sure we got someone else in the ranks, isn't it? Grealish. Yeah. So Grealish did come on, but it's a little bit late. Yeah, I guess. Look, Sterling, you're 5, mate. Simple as that. You're 5. Not good enough. I agree, 5. Yep. Let's move on. Mr. Saka, he did okay early on in the game. He got down the wide, but I wanted to see him do a bit more what he does with Arsenal, where he looks at the guy and he'll dribble down the line a lot more. He's just not in the game enough. Like I say, if we don't have control of the game, he wasn't in it enough. We didn't have enough control. We didn't get the ball to him enough. When we did, he did okay at times, but again, he went missing. He was missing for most of the game. And yeah, Saka 6. Yeah, I gave him a 5. Just because, again, it's just not enough. There wasn't enough there that game. And like I say, when you come up against better teams, you've got to produce more. And I know like he scored 2 the last game. They did come quite easily, when he was cutting inside, and they just basically kind of standing off him. And because I know what it's like. I've played against teams in these countries, like, like Iran and stuff. I went out to Saudi. I went and played a couple friendly games and stuff and charity games. And they do get done for fake shots. They love a fake shot. They love getting sent to the shops for fake shots. So, all you have to do is fake a shot and they're gone. They're sliding on the floor all the way down the side. So, it's, yeah, I don't know. Saka got a 7, Prince Ahmed. Come on, lad, come on. What's happening there? No, I don't think he played 7. I don't think he was one of the better players yesterday. But look, 5, you need to up your game. When we play Wales, we should be winning nicely, comfortably. Make it happen. And if you're not playing well, please take him off. Please take these players off when they're not playing well, because that's what we got a squad for. That's what we've got so many subs for. Make it happen. Let's make use of our squad, like Brazil, like everyone else has done. Spain, when they got all their players involved, everyone's scoring goals, everyone's feeling good and feeling sharp. That's what you need. When you're feeling sharp because your whole squad is there, we could come unstuck because our players not played and then they're called upon in a very crucial time in this tournament, and then they can't do anything because they've just been sitting there for game after game. So anyway, Mr. Harry Kane. Been quiet. He has been quiet, mate. He has been quiet. He had he had a header which he went wide. He had a shot which got blocked. Wasn't really involved again. And Harry Kane, he got 5. This is what's mad, isn't it? Because everybody loves Harry Kane. Everybody knows what he's about. But it is one of them ones for me where it's like a Cristiano Ronaldo situation for me. Where, you do lose something as a team when he plays, but you do get his goals when he plays. So everyone's going to always go with Kane. But I'm that kind of manager that I'd either put him in the hole where Mount plays and then have someone else who's quick and agile. And you know what Ten Hag says? I need pace in all my 3 positions up front. That's how I would play. And I'd sacrifice Kane being up front for that, because that's the type of football I want to see. Now, I wouldn't not play him because he scores so many goals and he loves to drop deep anyway. Let me put him in the hole. I'll put him in the hole and make sure someone else is up front running around. Rashford, getting in behind, chasing stuff. I would play like that, me. That's just my way of playing, and that's all I like. I just got to tell you how it is. Kane 5 should have scored. Yeah, should have scored. I think we could be a much more dynamic, dangerous team if he was in the hole. And he probably score goals anyway because he can still get in the box from there. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would try that, and I would go with 3-pronged attack, which got pure pace everywhere. So yeah, that's the starting lineup. Chris Hammond said 5 as well. So you're the same. So anyway, let's wrap this up with the bench. Henderson came on, he got like a 6. Rashford came on, did a little bit of work, didn't really do anything. Giving him a 6. And Grealish, little bit of link-up play as well. He got a 6. Now, I just want to talk about this man here, because this is the main thing now. He's done okay. We got to the finals before. We should have won the finals before. We went 1 up, and then we tried to defend it. Oh, that's fine. But look, he's got to do more. He's got to make the right decisions. I think we're judging him on what he's doing, and then what happens in the end. And to be honest, he's done okay. He has. But look, you've got to bring your best players on. That's the most important thing. Nobody mentions about playing Kane in the number 10 role. I know. I don't know why, but it's just the way it is. But again, guys, I've seen some new names here. United guy, you're a new one as well. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit the notifications button so you can see us whenever we're jumping on. We will be doing a watch along on Sunday as well. We will be going through the game on Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. I'll just quickly double check. But yeah, nobody mentioned these things because it's not in their mind and of how we can be our best team. But yeah, Southgate, I'm giving you a 5 yesterday because you didn't play your best player. Like nobody, no manager. That's a cardinal sin for me. You cannot not play your best player. That's what I'm taking from this whole thing. Then the moral of this game is you must play your best player. Must, Southgate. Please learn from the reason why these guys are asking you these questions in the interview afterwards. They're asking you why the hell you didn't play Foden, because everybody's thinking it. Everybody. When everybody's thinking something, you've got to do it, mate. You've got to do it. United guy, Southgate 5. Exactly. Wales game, can we go for it? We do not need to be safe. Take the safety pin out and let's go. Let's go next game. Because I want fun. I want to enjoy watching this game. Just like second half Brazil, I watched them. I was like, wow, these boys are balling. They're balling out because they're being themselves. Let's be like that. Next game coming up, like we said, it's Tuesday, the 29th, November the 29th, sorry, at 7 p.m. If I'm right. I hope November the 29th is Tuesday. It is, isn't it, guys? It is Tuesday game. Let me just double check that. Yep, Tuesday, 7 p.m. So Monday we will be on doing the match preview, and Tuesday, obviously, we watch the game, and we will be doing the match review after the game at night on that day. So, it's been a good one, guys. I think it's time for a new manager after World Cup. Yeah, I think so. I think he's done an okay job, a good job. We did get to the finals. So, end of the day, you can't say that's bad. Getting to the final is still good. But in this day and age where teams are not nowhere near the levels of production, what they can do, they're not really producing that kind of stuff. This is the best time for us to be able to take advantage of a bad quality. I think the quality's gone really down. And we will talk about that soon anyway, in terms of the quality of the amount of people in the world-class bracket as opposed to the 2000s. That's way down, way down. But what is up is the amount of players who are good now are way up. So there's much more people in that pool of good players, but much less people in that pool of world-class players. Tell me if you agree or not. But that's me. That's my thoughts on the game. And I will be doing a proper full show on that. It's unbelievable. But yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for getting up early, listening to me. I know it's early, but I had to do this one. I wanted to make sure you guys got my full understanding of how I felt the game went. And again, guys, make sure you like on that side. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit that notification button. And it just helps us grow, helps us get found. And it just gives us a bit more motivation, doesn't it? So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. We will see you. We'll probably be seeing you in the morning because I think Garth is back from his holidays and he wants to do a bit. So yeah, we'll be seeing you shortly. And what do I say? Peace out.